We're going to start off with Lamar Jackson. We're going to start off with this drop that he had. And is it warranted? I just want to throw this out there right from the beginning. Who has the highest passer rating in the history of the NFL? Well, it's Lamar Jackson. Well, he's tied with Aaron Rodgers with 102.2. To me, this sounds utterly insane. And this is usually, in working there, this is usually what ends up happening is, what have you done for me lately? The fluctuation with players from year to year. Lamar certainly had a down year. The Ravens had a down year. It was enough to really upend John Harbaugh from his seat there that had been for 18 years in Baltimore. A lot went wrong in Baltimore, and a lot went wrong for Lamar Jackson. Specifically, the injuries were a huge part of it. It was the hamstring, it was the ankle, it was the knee, the toe, the back. He missed time because he was sick. These were real injuries. The hamstring lingered, I remember talking to people, much longer than they thought it was going to. They thought it was minor. It ended up being worse than it was. The back becoming a major issue. He couldn't be himself. So in turn, I remember talking to people there, it was he can't practice during the week. If you can't practice during the week, you can't get any sort of cohesion and chemistry as an offense and how you want to build the game plan each and every week. That's a major problem that is even before Sunday rolls around and Lamar Jackson's trying to be himself, the two-time MVP, the Super Bowl type of player he is capable of being, but couldn't be. And so when Sundays rolled around and he wasn't healthy, I was hearing this from defensive coaches, and this is why we saw mainly a different Lamar Jackson, is the running threat wasn't there. Defenses weren't respecting that unbelievable dual threat ability that Lamar Jackson has. So with that, the math was actually changed for Lamar Jackson, not in his favor anymore. And he was seeing coverages and things that defenses were doing that he's never really seen before. He usually had the math in his favor because you would account for him using his legs. And when defenses stopped accounting for him using his legs, well, guess what happened? Different types of coverages happened. Different types of things changed. He wasn't practicing at all. It was just kind of a perfect storm of everything going wrong. There was stuff happening off the field, behind the scenes, that kind of led to the departure of Harbaugh. All of these different things happening is still Lamar Jackson, one of the best quarterbacks and one of the best overall players in the NFL, 100%. Talking to people, just kind of texting, going, yeah, I trust me. Specifically talking to defensive coaches, it was, trust me, we still fear him like crazy when Sunday rolls around. He's one of the most difficult guys to go against. And so with all of that, that's kind of what landed him in the position he was for one season. One season. Most of the people I talk to believe it is entirely an outlier because there's enough of a sample size to show that Lamar is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And he's essentially on pace to get paid again. Now, where do things stand with Lamar Jackson's contract? It's a different situation than almost any other player in football, and I'll tell you why, and I'll get to it in a second. He's under contract for 2 more seasons. They'd like to get a deal done. Steve Bisciotti, their owner, has been very clear about wanting to get a contract extension done with Lamar Jackson. They've been trying to sign him for roughly like 2 years. They didn't get one done early in the offseason. They actually had to restructure his entire contract to free up enough cap space so they could operate in free agency and within the draft. With that restructure that happened before March, essentially, right there at the beginning of March, he now in 2027 has a cap hit that's somewhere around $84 million. That's not something you can function with in the 2027 season, specifically in the 2027 offseason after this 26 season. So look for a deal. It could possibly be done before the start of the season. Lamar honestly could wait if he wanted to. I don't know if he's going to. I'm just going to put that out there to say, guess what? He's waited in the past. He's waited for the big money in the past. It could go up even further if you look at all the guys that are unslated to get paid, whether it's Drake May or it's going to be Caleb Williams or it's going to be Bo Nix and some of these young quarterbacks. The number I'm told is no longer 60 at the top of the market. It's going to be 70 million. Is Lamar going to be at 70 million? Some people around the league do believe that is seriously a possibility. The reason we don't know very much oftentimes with Lamar Jackson, and there's always this thought of contention between him and the organization, is again because it's handled differently than any other really contract negotiation. He doesn't have an agent. He has a very, very small circle of people that are around him. They respect him greatly. Nothing ever leaks out from his side. And the Ravens really respect Lamar Jackson and that side of it, so nothing else really leaks out from the Ravens side. With the contract negotiations between the two sides being so private, there's a hard ability to gauge where those contracts truly are in terms of the negotiations and where they are. They can happen very quickly. It's happened before with Lamar. They can drag on and they can be at ends with a little bit of how, the two sides view the current status of it. But where it stands is that both sides are very quiet, which usually creates what? Creates a lot of rumors, creates a lot of people asking questions that maybe they're not even really fully there. You've seen Lamar fully buy in during this offseason. He's attended more frequently than he has. He's had a lot of conversations with Jesse Minter. He has a previous existing relationship that a lot of people overlook with Jesse Minter that I think is very valuable. Minter and Declan Doyle, the new offensive coordinator, have gone down to South Florida and seen Lamar Jackson, and he was part of the prioring process. He is a big part of everything that's going on in Baltimore. It's just the negotiations are different than they are with most other players because there's not an agent that can talk to the media. The same thing would honestly be said, some people believe, with the criticism that Lamar gets. There is no agent to spin things, because guys, this does happen, to certain media members to put things in favor of Lamar. Lamar's not wasting his time trying to, plead his case if he's getting criticized publicly or dropping in some sort of rankings. And there's no agent stumping for him either. He just goes out and plays football and plays outstanding football. Keep an eye on maybe a contract getting done. It could happen at any point. It could happen at the start of, right before the start of the season. This is just a different type of situation than other players go through, and I kind of outlined why. But the Ravens want him there. By all intents and purposes, what I've seen, he wants to be there. So we just wait, and right now he's slated to make, I think, $52 million in terms of cash this season. I think he's doing just fine.